I'm just happy it's only 14%.
The risk management fund, fees are charges of fees to the other operating funds to cover workers' comp insurance premiums, as well as property and liability insurance premiums on an annual basis. And this portion is done through TML, the Texas Municipal League. And they have been advising us that a workers' comp insurance, they continue to see that increase on an annual basis as well. So that's something we're having to factor in.
And on that's a couple things to keep in mind on work comp. You're rated on, obviously the pool has an experience and we have an individual experience. You all know we had a death to our, in our claims this year. And so obviously our personal experience factor is going to be higher, and that's going to attribute into that. Because obviously that's if an employee gets injured, but you also have, when we had Officer Hopper killed, that becomes a death claim in our work comp. So.
You mentioned, I think, the name Betty. Is someone helping you with insurance and risk?
Debbie is a city employee that is pretty much dedicated to helping our employees with insurance, and then we hire a third-party administrator that helps us, and we also have a consultant. Takia Consulting that we've used for a number of years, and she is the one that keeps us apprised of anything changing in the industry, any new things that people are looking at. She has multiple clients, and so she'll say, this is what I'm seeing, you know, that's coming on the market. She's the one that brought us the Companion Global for the travel out of the country to get surgeries, and she brings us those kinds of suggestions.
Is there communication? I don't know why I always go back to communication. Is there communication into the insurance, the risk management of safety this, safety that? We see it in the fire service where they've got it just even on the front door or the doors to their garage as they're leaving the station. It says everyone comes home tonight. Is there other safety messages or risk messages throughout the other areas of the city?
We get a risk report to our directors where they always know what their claims are, what their injuries are. We have a monthly safety meeting with all of our employees that they attend. I would tell you from an administrative standpoint, ours are certainly more limited, so sometimes we get a little creative with our monthly safety meeting, and we will touch on other things for office employees. But Public Works, they're out there doing trench safety. They're out doing all of their safety meetings. Parks does theirs, and then police and fire have theirs. So yes, and we, even on the insurance fund, we stress to our employees that it is one pot of money, and that every dollar you save the insurance fund is a dollar that goes back into the pot for your other needs. And so we definitely try to stress to them how this system works so they understand. I've said to y'all, we will have meetings, not this week, but next week, and we will have a series of meetings each day with the employees. And at those meetings, we talk to them about these insurance things and everything they can do. And we talk to them about the big picture, that there's just one pot of money. And that one pot of money has to pay for all of the city's equipment, supplies, your salaries, and insurance, and that it is a self-funded plan. So we try to express that to them so they do understand there's a reason to go use the cheapest facility, even if you maxed out your deductible and you're out of pocket. So we do have those communications with them every single year.
And then for my line of work, we have a wellness challenge kind of thing where they'll pay us $200 or apply $200 towards our enrollment for next year if we meet these 3 criteria things. That would be kind of fun. I don't know if it's available for us.
We have a wellness program. I would tell you it's not as robust as some. I think there are definitely some that have better. What we do is we mandate a couple things. You have to have an annual physical or blood work every single year. And you have to participate with our case management if they contact you because they have determined that you're a potential high claimant. You have to participate in the program. If you do, and we have a smoking, but ours is not an incentive, ours is a penalty basically. If you do not participate, you have to pay a higher premium, and on the wellness, it is $60 a month, I believe is the additional premium, and on smoking, it's $40 a month. So you can actually have to pay $100 additional premium per month if you don't do those things. If you're a smoker and you're not on the cessation program, or if you don't go for your annual physical, and if you don't participate with case management if they contact you.
So these expenses and revenues and all, that's Yes, the cost of insurance, but also the communication plans and all that that's
That's
available.
everything.
Okay.
That 7.3 million includes our claims, and you actually can see the breakdown of that. I believe that's in tab 7.
Yeah.
But that is the claims, it's the prescription, it's the dental, it's the web TPA administration, it's the reinsurance, and I've explained to y'all what reinsurance is. We basically take $100,000 liability on every employee, the first 100, and then they cover for over that unless they carve them out. And so that pays that insurance for that reinsurance, and that's all included in there. The problem with the reinsurance is that's great for ones that they can't see coming. If something is diagnosed October 1st after we've signed our contract with them, then we're only on the hook for $100,000 and not on the hook for anything over $100,000. If they can look, and they do look at the case records before they bid the insurance, and if they see that Loretta Getchell has been diagnosed with cancer and they believe I'm going to be expensive, they will say my deductible is not $100,000, my deductible is $300,000.
Okay.
And so the city's then on the hook for the first $300,000. And so it helps you with where it really helps you is like with a preemie baby or something that they don't see coming. But if you already have an issue prior to the start of that, and they won't go out multiple years, they do 1 year at a time, and they look at all the history before they bid.
Okay.
Can you do anything like take away dental and vision? Does that help?
We could. The employees pay the bulk of, I think they pay all of vision now, so the city is not subsidizing vision at all. On the dental side, we do, but it's not a large, that's not a growing expense, and that really has not been impacting us. It really has been on the health side. That's where the dollars are. The rest is pretty small. And we'll try, to Mr. Biden's original question an hour ago.
I'm sorry. Really,
Your question from Thursday
Yes.
night.
We will try, because of the importance of this, we will try at our monthly meetings, when Janina's doing her finance report, if there's anything new that we're looking at, we'll try to bring you updates and not just wait until, and certainly at our February meeting, we can discuss with you anything that we maybe have found, so.
Thank you.
And I feel really bad for coughing all the way through.
You
See, that
just
premium's
like-
going up.
Yeah.
You just look like you don't feel good.
And, okay, so we were on the risk management fund. Workers' comp rates will continue to increase. Ms. Sketchell pointed that out due to our experience. You'll see the budget for next year set at $923,000. Capital expenses are carryover from previous years for that $175,000. And honestly, that is all I've got.
So I wanted to well, first of all, any questions to this point on anything? I want to have Chris walk us back through tab 5 and all of the capital requests, what we're recommending funding, see if you're okay with all of those items before we, and then, but any questions on anything so far?
I apologize, but I do have 2 questions.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. That's all
It
we're here.
really helped me. On page 7. Rebates and incentives went up 271,000. We're rebating to the same people. Why is there an increase of 270?
Because you're
Because the revenue went up. Our rebate agreement says, let's use Shops at Vineyard Village, where the Lowe's Center is. When they went in, we said, we will rebate to you a portion of your sales tax, and it's basically 25%. So if that center generates more revenue, which you see up top in the sales tax number, then our obligation to them increases. So for every dollar that is reflected in the sales tax increase, the 1.2 million, if it is being generated from the Shops at Vineyard Village, then we owe Burt Collins 25 cents of that dollar, because that's the original agreement we made with him. And that agreement is getting close to being paid out, but it's not quite, it was a 10-year agreement. And then I'm trying to think, Ready Mix, US Concrete is the other, it works exactly the same way. If we got an extra dollar, then we owe a quarter.
I
So,
didn't realize it was built in up.
yes, it's built in up top and it's in the rebate number. Yes,
And
sir.
Acme's are the general.
Yes, Acme Brick is another one that we have that way, so.
And professional and technical.
Okay, that included, legal was about 45,000 of that, and that's made up of two things. They had a rate increase. This year, they have not had a rate increase since we hired them. That's been a number of years. And then just in general, with everything we've had going, we have been using them more because we obviously do have lots of development and things of that nature going. So our overall costs have been up with them. That includes an increase for NETS, our Northeast Transportation Services, from 70 cents per capita to $1 per capita. So that was about $32,000.
We're gonna take a deeper dive on that later.
And we can do that right now, because I don't think we do have anything more on that. So, and then we had $18,000 in that for our language line, to be able to allow our employees to call up and have the interpretation of any language that we might need.
30,000 for the janitorial increase.
Yes, that's where our janitorial increase is, so I'm trying to keep kind of a little running total in my head there. but we
PD
had-
office space was $8,000 for the sharing.
That is the, what do you call that?
Storefront.
Bob, I call it the storefront, yes. That was that $8,000? Okay, and that was where PD is sharing with Hearst and Bedford a storefront. That's where our mental health liaison office is out of. You said that was $8,000?
AccuRent's 4,000.
Accurate, okay, that is a background check, that where we run background checks on employees and everything, and that went up by $4,000.
And then we also had 31,000 in the transportation. We realized we didn't need that much, but we also had an increase in our documentation for a new program that we're looking at as well.
That's our
Expansion of the
imaging,
program.
and so that's gonna just then, the rest of that's gonna be your contractual increases where, like they said, for a document imaging contract where, they've raised the fee or the price, and that's gonna be for all the departments within the city, any other contractual type increase they might have for anything that's considered professional technical type services. I think that accounted for most of the 200. I wasn't
Oh, that's
keeping a running total.
plenty.
And the HEB.
Show me that it's itemized and we know what it is.
HEB Transit was the other one. That's where we join, that's the transportation service that provides rides to people to work. That's not the senior. NETS is keep in mind, NETS is the senior transit service. HEB Transit is the one that was started a number of years ago that helps to try to get people to work. Because we don't have any sort of bus service in this area. The HEB Transit and the NETS are the two transportation services we have for people. Y'all been to the United Way before, and you hear United Way puts money into HEB Transit, but that's more geared towards trying to help people to get to work, where the seniors is more geared towards getting them to their medical appointments and to get their groceries and things like that. So, does that answer that question?
We got a bus that goes to the HEB? No, just teasing.
To the HEB. We do not have a bus that goes. We will
To get
eventually.
groceries?
Maybe sometime. So, but they get some charitable giving into that, which helps with that, but the three cities obviously contribute towards that transit service to. What other questions do y'all have just on what we've covered so far before Chris looks at capital? Nothing there? Well, if you guys want